Hi YouTube, Neil here with Facelift Interiors. Welcome back to our channel. So in this week's video, we're going to be going back to basics. So we're just going to be doing a storage ottoman, a small box. It's a re-upholstery job we got for a customer, and it's a sentimental piece as well. Customer's grandmother, I believe. You can do these on your own at home if you want to. They're really simple to make up if you want to make the box up as well. Just use MDF. I'd use 18mm. Decide your size, cut your 4 pieces, pin it all together, do a bottom, bang, and a lid. And you're away. So we're going to be going through the whole process step by step. Anyone should be able to do this, even beginners can follow along. So as always, if you like upholstery tips and tricks, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell so you'll be made aware of when there's new videos available. So let's get into the video. This is how you upholster a storage box or storage ottoman. All right. Action. We are reupholstering this box, restoring this box. We want to keep it original because the customer wants to keep it original. So as you can see, we stripped it all down. So what we're going to do is, you see here, they've put a lip along here. So I need to build this out because the way I'm going to do it, I'll just do 4 sides all sewn together and just slot it on. I was going to take this off, but it's there to give a bit of strength to the hinges. So I'm just going to add a bit of wood onto this side here. So I'm going to cut a bit of wood to slot on there. The bottom is here. We're just going to reupholster that in black, and a black lining. Here we've got some, don't know if anyone can tell us about this. I've tried to look it up, can't find much. Kiora it's called. New Zealand produce, pure creamy butter. And it says Department of Agriculture, New Zealand. I cannot see a date anywhere. I can only imagine it's very old. I mean, yeah, look at this box. I don't even know what this is here. But I could knock a box like this up in 5 minutes. But, it's a sentimental piece. I believe it was the customer's parents who are now sadly not with us. So we're going to try and keep it original. I've got to add some wood onto it. Yep. But that's it. I changed my mind. We're going to use an orange, a light colour lining to go with the colour. So that's the bottom. So that's the top. We're just going to lay that on there. We want some thin staples. Right, we're going to use some little staples. So there's our bottom lined out. So we want to get our bottom pinned on. Right, so that's the bottom on. Now we need to build this side out. So we need to cut a bit that is 17¼ by 9. So now, I'm going to pin this bad boy on. Right, so now we're going to measure up for our foam on the outside. So the size of this box is, let's do it in inches as we are upholsterers, 11½. 11½ by 17¼ So our measurements want to be, for our fabric to start. Now when I'm measuring for the fabric, I want to come up and over. I don't want to finish on here. I want to come up and in. The fabric's got to come up and inside. So I'm going to allow 2 inches at the top. So it's going to be 14 inches top to bottom, side to side. I want to go 18¼ by, that was 11½, so 12½. So what I'm going to do now is get some foam, build out the sides, then we can start upholstering this box. Yeah, let's get some foam. The first one, I'm using upholstery adhesive and putting on some 1/2 inch firm blue foam to all 4 sides of the box, and using a foam cutter to cut away the foam. I cut the foam flush with the bottom and flush on the top as well. Now sticking some foam on the ends, making sure flush at the bottom, using the foam cut around the side and making sure all the corners are stuck down well. Now we're using Dacron and upholstery adhesive to stick the Dacron around the sides, and you see I leave a lip at the top. And use scissors to cut off flush. In a moment I'm going to glue the ends, because where 2 bits join together here, We want that to be nice and stuck. So what we did is we obviously put all our foam on. Now we've put Dacron on. I've let that dry a little bit. I've left enough up here, so because I don't want hard edge here, so I'll put a bit of Dacron to go over the top, so that will come over like that, so you won't have a hard edge. So now I'm going to go and cut the fabric, sew it up, then we can upholster this. So let's go and cut some fabric. So what we're doing here is just marking out our pieces. So we're going 12.5 by 14 and 18 by 14. The 14 top to bottom. Those are our two sides. And what I'll do is I'll pin all these together so I just know I've got to sew these lines up. What I'm also going to do is cut my linings for my insides. I'll go 2 strips at 13, and that should be enough to line the inside of the box. So now we're sewing up our 4 sides, straight lines, very simple, yes, very, very simple. I'm just going to take these staples out. So what I do here is make sure my selvages are flat. So I'm working each bit down, piece by piece. Then you can pull down and bring all your Dacron back up that you've lost. So again, you can go down, get all your Dacron back up that you're going to need, and then pop. What you can do is get your hand in, if your fabric's stretchy enough, and turn your selvage all the right way. So I'm going to staple the bottom first. So I'm going to make sure I've got enough at the bottom here to get my corners on. Make sure you're on the corner, make sure your seam is on the corner, like here as well. Make sure you've got enough for the bottom. So what I'm going to do is start working my way along. So I'm pulling that nice and tight into the corner. Get a staple in there. Right, now I'm going to cut out this excess. What you can even do here is put a staple in the top to hold it in place. Now, what I'm doing is I'm tucking under as much as I can, trying to get my fold right on the corner. And what I can use is a regulator or anything to tuck it in. Now that is a perfectly good corner. So now I'm lining the inside of the box using a lining fabric and some yellow back tack. So I lay my lining fabric down, stick a few staples in, Then I'll use cardboard strip or back tack and staple around. I'm going to transfer in a minute from my normal gun, which I'm using now, to my long nose so I can get into the corners. Now I'm pulling the fabric down nice and tight and stapling off at the bottom. Now we're using our long nose gun. We use that so we can get right into the corners and right down into the bottom, because a short nose gun is going to be a lot more difficult. Now we're repeating the process on the other side. What I do is I cut about 2 inches away from the corner. See what I'm doing now? I'm just making sure it's nice and tidy, folding the fabric under and then stapling, using my long nose and stapling nice and tight into the corners. So now we're using the black bottoming fabric to do the bottom. Once you staple on, you can see how much you're going to need. Tuck under. Work your way towards the ends, tuck the ends over nice and tight. You want a nice tidy bottom. Some people say that if you want to see how tidy an upholsterer is or how good he is, look at his bottoms. So now we're putting our plastic glides on. They're just little like bump feet. So now we've done the box. What we did is obviously we lined the inside of the box. We used back tack around the edge. It's very clean, yes? So now we're doing the lid. Now, going to use 2-inch white foam. So also we're going to put some Dacron on top. Glue in all the sides as well. So we're just going to snip the excess off the corners. So that is our lid. I'm going to move that to the side, cut some fabric. I need to measure it first. 25 by 19. Right, so like we've done before, if you've seen any of our previous videos with fluted headboards, we're going to be pulling this nice and tight. So one in there. What is I've done? What was that? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start working around. Now I've anchored 4 points down, nice and tight. What we're going to do now, start working our way down. Because there is a pattern in this fabric, you can follow that. So I can see there, you want to follow the lines, make sure they stay straight. What we do is use our hand, pull the fabric up, use our finger to hold the fabric on the top, then staple, making sure our lines stay straight. So now we have to start doing our corners. So what I'm going to do here, like I've done with dining pads, is pull no pleat at all, no pleat. So I've pulled nice and tight. I'm going to do the same on all the corners. Right, so I'm just going to show you how we do a handle. So basically you want to cut a little square of fabric. All depends on the size of the box and how big you want to do your flap. So what I'm going to do is just cut here. And it is so simple. I'm just cutting a little square of fabric over to the machine. Now, this isn't the right cotton to use, but forget about it. And then we're literally just going to fold that on itself. And then we're going to stitch 1/2 inch away. Trim that off. Trim that off on the other side as well. Do the same thing. Then I'm going to turn this inside out. You can use your regulator, get into the corners, push them corners out because sometimes they get a bit stuck. Watch this one. Push it out. And that is a perfectly good handle. Now we're putting our little handle on. So now we're stapling our flap on, making sure it's in the middle. Putting a few staples in it, then comes the lining and the back tack. Now I lay my lining down, get my cardboard strip. Make sure you staple close to the edge of the cardboard strip. The reason you do that is you don't want it lifting. If you staple too far away and you pull really tight on the fabric, it will lift. It's not that strong. So make sure you staple nice and close to the edge of the cardboard strip. On the ends, I like to put an end, like put a staple all the way down the ends so that the corners don't fold up. Now we pull nice and tight, tuck under, staple in the middle, work your way up towards the corners. Make sure you don't go too close to the corners because you need to tuck the ends under. Now you can tuck the ends under nice and tight without having to take any staples out. Good tip. Now we staple the ends. Now the lid's going on. So here's the finished product. Apologies we didn't show the hinges going on, but they're really pretty standard hinges. It's very nice, very nice. Now we're going to look inside. This box also came with a lifting bar, very old school, but put it back in. Thanks for watching, guys.